All right, guys, it's Friday. I'm excited. Another episode talking about Harry Potter. I've actually been excited to do this episode because there's a lot of great things about the Harry Potter story that I really enjoy, but something that is apparent to you, obviously, as you read all the books and or watch the films. There's actually a great, is allegory the right word? I'm not sure. But there's a great example in that story, obviously books, Sorcerer's Stone through the Deathly Hallows, where at least, an underlying message, at least for me, is if we don't take care of the problems that plague our generation, they will roll to the next one. And it will compound because the generation that comes after us, our children, will not only have our problems and our villains that we haven't taken care of, they will also have their own. And it's very interesting how, Harry's parents, they were really unsuccessful in stopping Voldemort. They really only stalled him. And in fact, again, going back to Powerful Women, it was really Lily Potter that actually stopped Voldemort. Of course, if you've read, everyone should know the story by now, but it was really Lily Potter using very old magic and, sacrificing herself to act as a shield for Harry was really the only reason that they won. And if you delve deeper into that, the only reason they won is because of his magic that Voldemort never knew about or studied because he didn't think he needed to, partly because he grew up, for the most part, in the non-magical world of the Muggle world. But basically, the Order of the Phoenix was really unsuccessful in really doing, to my knowledge anyways, I could be wrong about that. Maybe there's side stories that go into further detail that show that it was a little more even. But, Voldemort apparently was extremely successful in taking out powerful wizards and witches. Neville Longbottom, his parents were, brutalized with the Cruciatus Curse. So they seem to be outclassed by the more the dark-sided, to borrow a term from, I guess, Star Wars, the dark-sided witches and wizards. So they were really unable to really stop them. And they really were, this is something that I thought of, and maybe I'm just out of my mind, but there was the amount of whimsy that seems to be in that group and or the lack of urgency. I mean, of course, I know for the sake of story, this has to happen. I understand that J.K. Rowling was creating a story and crafting a story arc that moves over multiple books. So I understand how she had to do this. But, one of the things, they could have found out very easily that Wormtail was a spy for Voldemort just by everyone choosing to drink Veritas serum and asking questions. Do you work for Lord Voldemort? Lord Voldemort. So this sort of ridiculous, seemingly ineffectual effort that Harry's parents put forth, and ultimately just getting lucky because Lily laid down her life for her son with, as Voldemort said in the movie, very old magic. It showed you that they were really unprepared for these problems, and they ultimately were not willing to do what it took to end it and stop it within its generation. Unlike Dumbledore, with his generation's greatest dark wizard, Grindelwald, he was able to defeat him, and he defeated him when Grindelwald had, obviously, the Elder Wand. Awesome story, etc., etc. My point is this. There's a great, I think allegory is the word, but there's a great aspect to this story arc where you can look a little deeper and see that if we as our generation, so I'm a millennial, if the millennials don't take care of our problems, and really effectively the problems that the baby boomers have also created as well, if we don't take care of it, if we don't take responsibility, and we don't take the hit, not only will our issues and the issues of the baby boomers that have rolled to us will go unsolved, they will roll to our children and future generations that will compound their own. And it may get to a point where the struggle is too great for them to succeed. And it's very interesting that in the Harry Potter story, these adults and when I say adults, I mean the people who, Harry Potter's parents, that generation, they were really unable to really pull it together. And even technically, even still, at the end, when Harry met Lord Voldemort again, the strength of Lily Potter and her sacrifice was still coming through, but it took her sacrifice and it took her being willing to die for her son to really protect him. And then that blessing, or I don't know if it's charm or whatever it was on Harry, which then allowed, when Voldemort attacked him, to now Voldemort couldn't kill anyone anymore. I believe that's how the story went. At least that's how I read it or believe it to be. I could be wrong. Correct me in the comments if I am. But the final battle that took place at Hogwarts. Again, I understand J.K. Rowling was writing a story arc that had to go over multiple books. I get that. My point is this: we as people right here now, we can solve the problems of our generation now and help solve future problems that may or may not come or may be brewing, or we can choose to pass them to the next generation and fail in solving the issues of our own generation. And that can happen, and we should really learn from Harry Potter. I know that sounds a little weird. We don't want to be like Harry's parents. We want to solve the solution, or we want to be the solution today for the problems right now and not roll it forward to our son and our daughter, hoping that they have the strength to manage it. Love Harry Potter. Amazing story. Can't wait to do more episodes this month. I think we got 2 more. I'm excited about it, but I did want to talk about that. I thought it was pretty cool, just that underlying story arc of the failure of the previous generation and how that drama rolled forward into the next one and caused really, great pain and great suffering. So let's not be like the previous generation in Harry Potter that failed. Let's succeed. Let's go.